Hello, everyone. It's Adam with Demiplane, and thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. If you've got questions, I've got answers, and you can start entering those now. We have Demibot, our magical robot that is crawling chat and is discovering and exploring your questions and keeping them in a holding container until the appropriate time of our show when I start to go through however many questions we have collected. So if you've got those, we're already getting some hit ones coming in, I see, because they are dinosaur related. All right, so if you have questions, you can ask them all along the way by prefacing whatever you're saying with the word question, and Demibot will grab that up for us. But as always, we're going to go through our latest updates, and we're going to go through what is upcoming and then those questions. So let's jump right in here and leave as much time as possible for questions today. This is going to be a little bit of an in-betweener when it comes to updates. And of course, this is the nature of development in software where there is so much activity going on. So when I leave this stream, there's going to be so much that myself and the team are out there doing, so much interaction, so much progress being made. But it is at a point where today there's not a ton that we can show you yet. Lots of exciting things happening on our machines that we can see in Slack and all the other places. But I do want to say that we have exciting news for tomorrow, that Lost Omens Knights of Last Wall, which is a really incredible book. I have really enjoyed being able, one of my favorite parts of this gig is being able to see all of this content for all of these games and see it in a very, very intimate way, like where we are actually digesting the content and we are digitizing it and putting it into a form that you can use on the Nexus platform. And I got to do that with Knights of Last Wall, and it is a really great one. So if you haven't pre-ordered that, you can do so now. That's going to be available in addition to Shadows at Sundown tomorrow. So it's going to be at some point tonight. I believe it's midnight Pacific. We are going to have those two live, and so you can unlock those in the digital reader and in the compendium. So all of that's going to be happening tonight. And if you haven't seen those yet, they really are great. And so check those out. And we are testing. So bundles are going on right now. And as you can imagine with bundles, we have a few new concepts that we are introducing to the system. And those new concepts have to do with your hard-earned cash. Or does anybody use cash anymore? Your hard-earned bank account, debit situation. So either way, we are being ultra cautious when it comes to anything like that. And so we are running through all the test scenarios. If we see anything that is even remotely wonky, we are fine tuning that. So a little bit of, things that we are just smoothing out and making sure everything is ready with bundles. But once we get that done, that is going to unblock us on adventure paths, and you're going to start to see those come online very soon as well. When it comes to bundles, I will talk about this a little bit more when they are released, but I want to start to plant some seeds about previously purchased content credit. And so this is where if you buy a part of a bundle at any point in time, once those are released going forward, you are going to be able to get credit for however much money you pay into that. So for instance, if you are trying to get a rule books bundle and you have bought the core rule book for $30, then whenever you are going to try to purchase that rule books bundle, you will get credit for that $30 that you paid, and the price of the rule books bundle will be reduced that $30. So I will never forget the first time that I saw something like that happen, because Amazon ecosystem user. I never did the iTunes stuff, so it was always Android phones and everything. So all of my video content on Amazon, and I remember buying some episodes of a television show, and my wife and I were like, I don't know if we want to buy the full season. We don't know if it's good yet. All the reasons that you go through for that. But then I remember we bought the first episode. And we're like, yeah, let's try one more. And then we bought the second episode. And then we're like, yeah, we love this show. And so then when we went all in on the season for the show, and I saw at that point in time that the price that we had paid for those two episodes was reduced from the overall season charge. And so that was several years ago. What ended up prompting in the past life where I was pushing for something like this previously purchased content credit. It's very important to us at Demiplane, and so that is going to be coming as well. And like I said, we'll work through all the scenarios of how that's going to work. But generally, it's a really great thing, and so we're ironing out everything to make sure everything is working properly there. So if you have any questions about that, might not quite be ready to answer all of them yet today, but can answer what I can, and then we'll get into all of that as bundles are released. And then on the character engine, so we are dropping drawers, and I don't mean what you do in the restroom. But we are dropping sidebar drawers. So as you can imagine, when you are creating a character or when you are playing a character in with a digital sheet, there are so many different types of what we call drawers, sidebars that are going to be needed for both of those major tools that are part of this overall character management. And so different configuration, control panels, different ways to display information as you're drilling down and trying to discover more about whatever it is that you're clicking on. So all of those things, there are, and I meant to look at the number before we started the stream today, but there are dozens, if not, 100 of these different kinds of screens that have to be present for all of that to work in the way that it needs to. And so that is, I'm going to highlight, even though you can't always see what's going on with the character engine and character builder and sheet development, I'm going to highlight some of the things that the team is doing. And this is actually, at Demiplane, the team members wear many hats because we've got a small team and we've got big plans, and we're doing a lot of things right now. And so actually on these drawers, our CEO, Peter Romanesco, who also does some design for us. Like I said, many of us do design, many of us do, a little bit of development. And he is doing a lot of work on these drawers right now, and they are really coming together. We are really pleased with how flexible the system that we're building is coming together. So lots of internal excitement that's hard for me to translate to you because you can't see any of it yet. But it is coming together, and we'll continue to show more and reveal more as we go down the road. And then World of Darkness early access for the reader and the compendium there. We are working on the core book, Camarilla, Anarch, and the free companion. So really knee deep in that right now. And that is going to be really something special. So as a fan of World of Darkness for many years, this is something that I have wanted to see come to life for, 2 decades. I think it's been that long, maybe 15 years that I'm like, hey, this would be so useful to have in this kind of format. And so really exciting to start seeing all of that coming together, and we'll have more to share on that pretty soon as well. Upcoming. So moving to Pathfinder Nexus, the early access phases, no updates on this, but as I said, that activity is going on behind the scenes, and it's all coming together. And then we do have a new episode of Children of Erte tonight. So we had our episode last week. Things are really getting exciting right now. And so the cast is really looking forward to what is going to transpire tonight. So check that out. If you haven't gotten caught up yet, we're not that many episodes in, and these are 2 hours or less. So you're not having to traipse through 5 or 6 hours an episode. So you can definitely catch up on our YouTube channel. We also have a podcast version if that is easier for you. But there is a new episode tonight, and really looking forward to that. All right. I think that's it. And I apologize for my voice. I've been, under the weather last week. That's why I wasn't with you. And I am feeling it right now. I don't think I have had to project and talk this much since then. So let's jump into questions if we have them. If I see several in here, I'm going to jump through these. If you have any others, now is the time to ask them. Otherwise, when I get done down to the bottom of the list, I'm going to go drink some orange juice. All right, let's see. Anchor 89, T-Rex pet or mount? Definitely. So, as a massive fan of Dino Riders, which is many people don't even know what that was anymore, but Dino Riders when I was a kid. I definitely did not like the T-Rex as a pet or mount. The T-Rex is always a bad guy, so I never related to the bad guys. I think that in Jurassic Park, maybe the T-Rex, ends up. Sorry for a spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, but yeah, it turns into a hero at the end. So what we will say is it would not be a pet or a mount for me. It would be a begrudging partner trying to accomplish good things. All right, Rakame, Adophilus, those side art pieces when we can use them for portal banners. So trying to piece together some of the context around the question there. So I don't know exactly what you mean by side art pieces, but I'm going to assume just some of the great artwork that is available for Pathfinder, for World of Darkness, for the various games that we support. That is something that we are definitely looking into, being able to use that for group portals as well. And I would say it's on the list, but we have got to make sure that we handle that in the appropriate way, because as some of you are probably aware out there, artwork and the way that it propagates online is not always really compliant with how that is supposed to work. And so some of those concerns are the things that we're trying to work through. But I do see a day where that is going to be a possibility, yes. Andro Jabak, character sheets will have an ID to import and export. On Foundry, anyone can create a module to import a character with an ID, as Pathbuilder did. So I won't say that there will be an ID to import and export. What I can say is there absolutely will be. It is a consideration for us that we will have the ability to import and export into various different formats and places where people would want to use that. So, yes, at the heart of it, there would be some, form of ID, but I don't want to specify formats or anything yet because we haven't gotten to that point. But yes, the intent would be that however you want to use the resulting character, you would be able to, or at a minimum, folks in the community would be able to set it up where you could use that character in whatever you want to use it in. So again, more as we get closer to that, but the idea is we are building an open playground is probably the best way to put it, and we want everyone to be able to play in that playground. That gamer share is Demiplane currently hiring? Asking seriously for myself, not a friend. We again, we're a very small team, and we are not at the moment advertising job roles that are open. But I will just, strong and heavy caveats here that, hey, this doesn't always work. But I will say that we are always on the lookout for great talent. And so some of the most recent hires that we have made have actually been people just passionately reaching out to us and saying they want to work with us. And we ended up creating roles for those individuals because we saw that they can contribute value. And so that's what I'll say. But again, that's not saying that fairy tale stories can happen for everybody out there, or anything like that. But I am saying that we are always looking for great talent, and so if you think that you're a great talent, by all means you can reach out in various places that you can find us. And as we start to scale the team further, we will have we do plan to have the ability for some of those roles to be public, and for people to be able to apply, and various things like that. So if and when that happens, we will let everyone know. Shot that from the rooftops. Andrew Jabak, what about price and discount on bundles if I already have one book? So maybe this, I think I answered this one a little bit earlier, but you might be asking on a slightly different piece of that. So definitely, if you've already bought one book, the price of the bundle would be reduced to the amount that you paid for that one book. But then also, in addition to that, bundles will have they will have discounts based on what type of bundle they are. And so again, we'll share more details about that as they are releasing. But ultimately, you will have a percentage discount across the entire bundle. And then once you have purchased something, so if the question is along the lines of if I paid full price for that one book, and then the bundle has a discount across it, ever and always the intent behind what we're doing is whatever you pay into the bundle is what you get credit for that previously purchased content credit. So for instance, it's not going to be prorated down to I only get credit for not $30, but down to whatever that would be, $27, or whatever the discount ends up being. I definitely do not do math in my head very well, so don't take that to the bank. But either way, you will get credit for what you pay into what is happening here, and that's going to work for discounts and everything else. The fairest way that we can do it is whatever you pay in is what you get credit for. If that's not answering the question, feel free to put in a follow up, and I'll get to it here. Anchor 89, will there be character validation like Hero Labs, prevents you from making illegal choices, alerts you to choices that have not been made yet, ensure your character is legal, rules as written? So yes, I'm not going to specify like any other platform out there, but the intent of all of that is yes, you will definitely know the choices that you need to make. In fact, that will be the most important part of what's happening within the character builder, and even the sheet. If you're leveling up, you will always know what choices need to be made, and then you will definitely have. So the way that we will treat it initially is there will be what we call speed bumps. So if you are trying to make choices that are illegal, you will hopefully have awareness that that is happening. So again, we're trying to cover a lot of ground there, and we're trying to find all the places where that would be the case. But the idea would be that we are not going to completely stop people from being able to do that and lock that down, because many games will sidestep some rules or completely plow through some rules. And so we don't want to prevent people from being able to do really anything that they want. But by default, you would see that, hey, this thing that you're trying to do is not how the rules as written work, and essentially notifying them and providing that speed bump. Now, a notable exception to this is once we have organized play support for Pathfinder Society in this case, That is definitely, those parts of the validation are not optional at that point. Because if you're doing something that is not legal for society play, then you're not going to get the badge saying that this character is legal, because there has to be a verified way that a game master could see that at the table and see that the character that you're playing is society legal. So all of that, definitely a major part of what we're putting together. The subtle but, will there be GM tools for campaigns or initiative trackers? Also, will creatures have trackable HP and conditions? So, a few questions there. Let me take it one at a time here. GM tools for campaigns or initiative trackers. Definitely on the roadmap, not part of initial launch. We're really focused on making the character management experience great initially. But yes, definitely on the roadmap, and something that we intend to do. Also, will creatures have trackable HP and conditions? Again, things that are on the roadmap and things that we are planning to do with all of this. But we have this really big mountain that we're climbing right now with character management. And once we get on the other side of that, some of these other things are going to be where we start turning our attention next. Andrew Jabak, when I'll be able to buy content from Chile. It's not available as a country to add a credit card. So what I can say is our payment provider asks for an address, and there is no validation on what that address is. And so our support team can help you out a little bit more if you need that there. But you should, there is a way to figure out how to purchase from virtually anywhere. And if you need some help, someone in the forums or support can help you there. All right, any other questions? I think I am at the bottom of the list here. I'm going to give it 20 more seconds. And if anybody's frantically typing, nobody's typing everybody's question out. That's totally fine. I'm going to go rest the voice and get some orange juice. It was great to virtually imagine all of you out there today. I didn't see you, but I am virtually imagining you. And join us tonight for the new episode of Children of Erte. Can't wait for that one. And we've got one more here. I'll throw that up just for good measure. Get well soon. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you. And I will see you next. I hope everybody, if you're in the U.S., has a good holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week. Later, Gators.